Hi, welcome back to our channel. We're currently traveling to Kappa Island with the bus. It's crazy that you can actually go with the bus on the ferry. I have never experienced something like that. And we're going to visit Halong Bay or Han La Bay from Kappa Island because we chose this destination because the island seems very beautiful and also very interesting to look at because it also has national park and a few caves. There are different ways how people visit Halong Bay, but we chose this way because it's the most suitable to us. We like it also to have the option to discover the islands. So we love islands and we were so hungry, so we had to hit the Indian restaurant first, and we had this gorgeous mango curry with this huge naan bread. And then it was time to rent a scooter. We did that directly over our hotel. That's why you need to book the hotel. It's such a great hotel. They're so nice. The service is so good and it was actually really cheap. And then we hit the first beach, and we're so grateful we could actually even visit Katba Island, since there was like a typhoon just 2 or 3 weeks before we visited the island. So it was actually kind of lucky that we could experience everything the way we imagined it without so many like inconveniences. Of course, you saw a bit of like damage on the buildings or even the whole like area near the water seaside was also kind of still in like fixing and repair, but we didn't notice that much. We still had the opportunity to visit this beautiful beach, and all the beaches were still perfectly normal and we could all have our fun. So this is Katba beach number 3. There are 3 beaches in general, and then you can just rent a bike and just cruise to anyone you want. So it was actually very beautiful. I like this one a lot. I think this one as well was my favorite from the 3. And then it was also time to do my nails. I hit up the nail studio, and people, it's crazy how much cheaper it is to do your nails in Vietnam. I just paid like 15 euros for this beautiful Sakuna inspired nails that I did because I love anime, and this is like from JJK if you know it. And then we had seafood for dinner because of course if you visit an island or you're at a seaside in general, you need to eat seafood. If you don't like seafood, that's on you, but there is some parts of it that I actually really enjoy, but this one I didn't enjoy as much because the fish wasn't like giving me anything crazy new, but I really enjoyed my drink. It was really good. And this was how it looks in the evening. It's very quiet, as I already said. It's a small island, but you can really just at least chill out. And then the next day we planned to visit a cave. So after getting some lunch, which I also kind of didn't really enjoy, I didn't know what choices I did the last 2 times with restaurants, but it was alright. So I don't know how you guys are with traveling by bike or scooter, but I love it. It's so much fun. I always feel like I'm in a real life Mario Kart situation. I always have like also this little sound in my head when I'm driving, this when you want to start the race, and then you have this this is what I always have in my head when I'm driving. It's so funny kind of, but you definitely have to wear your sunscreen because the sun was hitting us big time, bitches, big time. But I just enjoy the sceneries because this is what it's about, enjoying the sceneries, the nature. And it's crazy how green it is, right? I mean, you know nature, but you don't know nature like this, because I always just look at the color, and the green is just so satisfying. You know, it just does something for your soul. It just cleanses immediately. And then we arrived at the Trong Trong cave, which is one of the biggest caves that they have on the islands, I believe. And it's just a little entrance fee that you have to pay, and then you can totally hit up the cave on your own without any guide or something. You can just explore, and it's totally safe. It's a really secure and chill way that you can just walk through. You will see it in a minute, and then you will have a nice time. But bring sunscreen, because this bitch of a sun was like making me suffer. But also the mosquitoes will eat you alive. Bring good mosquito repellent and always refresh. But after doing those 2 things, and look at that little butterfly. I mean, you always see so beautiful butterflies in Vietnam. It's also really something I really loved about being in Vietnam. So the nature and the little surprises that you just get, it's also just something that you will enjoy on your journey to Vietnam. And then after climbing this a few steps, you're going to be at the entrance. But it's really just a few steps. I thought at the beginning like, damn, not so many like stairs again, but it wasn't that many this time. It was just a few. And then you can start the journey. And I haven't been in a cave before, I think. This was my first cave ever. This is my first cave ever. So I was really, really excited. And they said if we are lucky, we can also see some bats. So we will search. And we searched. We did that. So I'm gonna let you enjoy some of other highlights of the caves, but I'm not gonna show you everything since I also don't want to take the experience away from you. So you always know I show you some clips, but I don't want to show you everything. Then we finally found the beds, and which is really crazy because I haven't ever seen so many beds on one spot, but they're so tiny on the camera, but there were like a lot of them there. But you all know that they sleep over the daytime, so they were just having a little nap session all together. So I was whispering since I was trying to be considerate since I respect animals. So please respect them. Don't be loud and yelling or whatever, because that's sensitive. So don't be bitches. And then my boyfriend head out to the solo hike again, because he wanted to go to the national park, since there is one on the island that you can totally visit. And there was also a trail he did again. It was took around 2 hours, so you can have this gorgeous viewpoint again. We already learned in the last video, viewpoints and Torben go hand in hand. And I didn't go because I was scared. I'm always so scared because I'm really anxious about spiders, and I always think, wow, that's their jungle now. That's where they chill. So I don't really try to go where they are. So yes, maybe this robs me of an experience, because this is also something I would have really loved to see. But on the videos, I also felt like I was there, so it was okay for me. So I was just going back to the hotel to have a little sippy sip, had a nice lychee smoothie, which was really delicious, and I enjoyed the view from our hotel, since you can really have a great view to the water seaside. And then I picked them up, and then we were heading back to our hotel, and on the way we saw how they were burning these huge piles of garbage, and I wasn't really used to that, because in Germany we don't see that. You can see it like if you go and look for it, but you're not gonna see it on our street, because that's not how we do it. But that's how they do it, and that's also totally fine, and you have to just get used to seeing it. And then we went to the next beach. I already told you there were 3, and this was beach number 2 or number 1. I'm always sometimes a bit confused, but I also like this one. I mean, it's a little bit different, as you can see, more open.
So, manchmal denke ich mir einfach nur so, wenn ich in Urlaub bin und dann das einfach hier habe, dann denke ich mir so, boah, Leben ist eigentlich ganz geil. Man ist immer so depressed, wenn man halt in Almanien ist oder wo auch immer so eine kleine Bubble ist, aber sonst an sich ist das Leben echt schön. Ich bin jetzt am Strand, chill meine Eierstücke, hol jetzt meine Manga raus und lese das mal schön saftig besorgt, Digga. Weil besorgt ist schon ganz auf meiner To-Do-Liste und ich habe es nicht geschafft, aber jetzt denke ich mir so, boah, jetzt ist ein guter Moment, das zu lesen, ja.
Yeah, people, life is good, and the sunset was great as well. So that's how day number 2 already ended for us. And we went to the Indian restaurant for seconds because we really enjoyed the food there. And the next day was the special day. We've been waiting for this one, because this is the day where we're going to do our boat tour through the Halong Bay. and it's really something I was looking forward to, and I'm very excited that we can finally experience this. And we had the boat all to ourselves. We were the only 4 people from 25 people who could be on the boat, and since we always travel off season because it's cheaper in every way, like food, accommodation, so the trip was very little, small group, but it was the exact perfect way we like it. Not much crowd, it's quiet, you can enjoy actually what you see. And I mean, this boat was so perfect that I really loved everything about this. You can book this tour over the hotel, and I would really recommend you to do so because you will have the best day. The trip was around 8 hours, and then we will set off from the hotel. They will even bring you to the boat with car, and so you don't have to worry about anything, and then you just kind of enjoy yourself. Just bring your swimming suit and some changing clothes, and then there was already the first activity, which was kayaking. And I love kayaking because I think kayaking is one of the boat activities which make me feel very like safe, because I don't really enjoy like other boat types because they have a little issue here and a little issue there. But if I am kayaking, I feel like I'm fully in control. That's important to me. And the boat was also very easy to like work with, because sometimes, you know, there are boats where you have to work so hard to get to your destination, but this was a really good choice. And then he was taking us just through the little caves, and then we was also always trying to find little spots where nobody was. I really like our tour guides because he was always trying to find spots for us or brought us to nature spots where like almost no other tourists were, so we could have the best experience that we can have. And that was so nice and so considerate. Oh, you're probably wondering what's the difference actually between Lan Ha Bay and Halong Bay. And I mean, Halong Bay and Lan Ha Bay belong together. That's of course a fact here. And the difference is just that the Lan Ha Bay is going to be a little bit quieter. You have like smaller options for cruises, which will make you to have a more intimate experience in comparison to the Halong Bay, which is very touristy, can be very full. There are lots of boat tours that are offered. You can even sleep overnight on a boat, and then you will do activities on the boat cruise. But I feel like maybe a book why we didn't do it, it was a little bit like you've been spending a lot of time on the boat more than spending time experiencing the atmosphere and the vibe and the beauty of the bay, which is what you want. So it depends on what you prefer and what you want to see. So when you do your research, you can just do comparison, pro, contra, what do you want to see, what are you expecting, and then you can just decide on which kind of tour you will want to do. If it's like specifically just like the Lan Ha Bay tour, which is also great. I had a really great like feeling after the tour. I will also still blend in at the end of the tour how much we paid for the 8 hours that we spent on the boat. And I think we also had this like very intimate experience, which is more worth to us than just being on a boat and sleeping on it, because we had also a great time sleeping at our hotel, and maybe we wouldn't have even have half of the experience we had on our tour that we did, like compared to like maybe a very busy and luxurious tour in the Halong Bay. But as I said, Lan Ha Bay belongs to Halong Bay, so you're not gonna miss anything if you do the Lan Ha Bay tour. So I already said in the beginning, due to the typhoon, the water was higher than usual. That's why we had to be really crouched and really small and try to figure our way through this cave, since we were trying to get to a beautiful secret hidden spot that our tour guide wanted to show us. So that was also very fun. So I never had some situation like this where you have to like lie down in your kayak and try to like get through without hitting the brick above your head. Like, that's also something you can tell stories about, you know. But yes, it was actually totally worth it. So wait for the view, because that was a good one. And I also always just love the water. It's so green. Like, look at the beautiful turquoise color. I mean, look at us. What the hell? What is this? It's funny. I mean, this is what you don't expect what you get. Then you can just think about it and you'd be like, do you remember one time when we tried to get through that cave and then we just had to lie down and then bam, worth it, totally worth it, I would say. I mean, I think we had just a perfect day, for real, the wolf. I don't know how long we even were kayaking. I think maybe it was around an hour or something, but it felt so short. But it was already time for us to head back to our boat because it was very soon time for lunch and I was already so hungry. But I also love how they were always looking for spots for us also to be at, even if we were standing, so we could still have the best views while waiting for the next activity to start. And I really loved these camping chairs. There were camping chairs a lot on the boat, and we also could lie down. So this was like this fake grass situation, you know, I don't know the English word for that. And then we had this Vietnamese lunch, which was like a lot for 4 people, but it was very delicious, very yummy. And then we had time to go for a little swim, and Tor was already so happy because he was already waiting for that. That was his favorite part. It's just to jump off the boat into that very green, delicious water and just to chill out. And I really just loved how he found this spot where nobody else was again. We were just alone in this beautiful spot.
Wir waren gerade schwimmen in dieser unglaublich schönen Location, in diesem geilen, grünen, klaren Wasser. Es war so erfrischend. Eigentlich bin ich so das Schwimmgirlie, aber ich habe eine Schwimmweste bekommen, damit ich floaten kann, weil ich unter wie ein Stein. Und dann kann man das echt ganz gut genießen, ohne dass ich sonst noch ins Bett untergeht. Und gehen jetzt ganz einmal zusammen nach oben. Ich habe mir so ein Bierchen gezogen. Ich muss euch diese Tour empfehlen, das ist so gut.
From the old hotel, the view one new hotel.
Oh, ein bisschen Sonne hier.
And then it was already time to head to our last destination before heading back to our island. And I was already so sad that it was already almost over, since the day just flew by. It was literally so fast that when you're here 8 hours, you're like, goddamn, how is the time going to pass? But then suddenly it was already over. Then you were like, what? We're heading back already? That's so sad. I don't want to. I want to stay here forever because this is heaven. This is paradise, bitch. And then we got to our last destination, which was a fish farm, where you could see where the fish is being grown and held before they are transported for export. And it's also kind of sad to see how they're living, since some of those fishes are actually born in those tanks and stay there their whole existence. And it's good to know where your food comes from, because we are so desensitized and we don't really know where our food comes from most of the time. But it was good that they showed us this. It was very educational, and we even asked if somebody ever fell in, and he said yes. So I think that could be a nightmare situation. Imagine falling in with this huge fish, man. But yeah, I know something new now, and I learned something, and that's great. And I was really grateful for this part as well, because this was something very interesting. And this was the video, and we thank you so much for watching, and we hope you liked it. And if you did, please hit that plus, subscribe, and be back for the next video.